It's part of our DNA, and about 20% of the tourists who are coming in Montreal comes because of the reputation of our nightlife. There was a lot of resistance, fear about this kind of event, so we wanted to test it, to define what are the conditions of success. So we tried it more than 20 times, and it worked.
Resistance and fear. We want to fight it. That's what Plateau Mont-Royal Borough Mayor and Executive Committee Chair Luc Rabouin said during this major announcement from the city. We're going to create, well, in English, it's a bit better than the French version, designated nightlife zones. In French, the literal translation is nocturnal vitality zones. Anyways, time to get the opposition's reaction. Julien Henault-Ratelle is councillor for Ensemble Montreal in Tétreaultville and opposition spokesperson for housing. He joins me now. Julien, thank you for your time as always.
Thanks for having me.
So, what do you think about creating nightlife zones starting with Le Quartier Latin or Quartier de la Francophonie?
Well, it's hard to position on this subject because at the moment, what the Project Montreal administration presented is only a working draft. We don't have the real action plan that is going to be put in place. So we don't know at the moment what are the changes that the administration is planning in terms of the noise regulation or where the 24-hour nightlife districts will be located. So we've talked about the one in the Quartier Latin. It might be around Saint-Laurent. It might be in downtown Montreal. We don't know at the moment. And that's quite a huge issue because if the administration is planning to go in a public consultation without presenting the changes that they want to make, well, that's an issue.
Yeah, it is an issue. And so this is a very interesting point you're making. So why the big announcement? So it's basically announcing that it will make an announcement?
Well, basically, and I mean, they are right. There is a problem right now in Montreal with all of the regulation regarding the noise. We've seen many businesses and bar facing noises complaints and either receiving fines from the city of Montreal or literally having to close. So we can think of the case of the La Tulipe, we can think of the Turbo House in the Quartier Latin or District Video Lounge in the Village. So we've seen many cases. So there is an issue. But at the moment, with the policy that has been presented by the administration, we don't know what will be put in place.
So the principle of it, though, what is Ensemble Montreal's position on the principle of allowing businesses, not just restaurants, bars, but just businesses to go around the clock?
Well, I think basically it's a good idea. I mean, we've seen many businesses asking for it, but we need to put in place the good regulation and the good orientation to make sure that it's a success. And at the moment, we've seen many questions arising about governance, about mobility, about security issues, because it's good to try to implement that kind of a nightlife district across Montreal. But if we don't have access to the subway at night, what are we going to do?
Exactly.
If we don't have access to police officer, what are we going to do? So, I mean, there are plenty of questions that arise from this decision and that we don't have the actions that the administration is planning.
Obviously, we seem to be in very early but still pre-election mode at Projet Montréal because since the beginning of the year, so we had the announcement of the big $1.8 billion 10-year plan for the revitalization of downtown. Last week, $37.6 million for small business support. And now this announcement, which, as you correctly pointed out, it's kind of an announcement because there's so many outstanding questions. But obviously, Projet Montréal is trying to send a message that they're taking care of downtown. So what would you see as being the right actions to make to revitalize the downtown sector? What would an Ensemble Montréal administration put forward?
Well, regarding the nightlife policy, there are many solutions that exist and that could be put in place. So first of all, there needs to be changes in terms of the regulation of North, but there are also many innovative concepts such as the one of the actor of change, l'agent de changement, that is being proposed by Montréal 24/24. So basically, it's the last one to settle in a neighborhood that is the one who needs to adapt to the reality of the sector. So if we take an example of a new residential construction next to the Quartier des Spectacles, well, it will be up to the new residential construction to be better soundproof, for example. And on the contrary, if a bar comes to establish itself in a residential area, well, it will be up to it to put in place measures to not disturb the neighbors. So there are many solutions that can be put in place. And I think that right now it's hard to follow the Plante administration on all of the subject of the revitalization of a downtown on a nightlife policy. I mean, on one hand, they are proposing and presenting the policy that we're talking about, and at the same time, they decide to cut the budget of Montréal 24/24, which is the organization in charge of promoting nightlife in Montreal. So it's really hard to follow the administration. I think they had a really bad season at the end of 2023, so they are trying to do a lot of announcements in early 2024, but I mean, it's not done well. It's not done with consulting the different partners on the ground, and we see the results. It's really not working what they are proposing.
I get the sense that they don't want to talk about oysters as much as they did last fall. So the idea here now, in terms of the businesses, a lot of business people are telling me from a lot of different sectors that the tax situation is completely out of hand. Some businesses say, same sectors in Toronto and Vancouver, it's like Montreal's taxing them 30% more. I mean, I get that we need the revenue. I get the costs are going up. But is that something that's on your radar at Ensemble Montréal?
Oh, it is. And I mean, we've talked about it, I think, 2 weeks ago. The Plante administration has put an increase on the taxes for commerce of about 4.6% in the last fall. And one of the main issues is that they decided to stop the stratégie de réduction de l'écart fiscal. So basically, the difference between the residential and non-residential taxation rate. So basically, we use in Montreal to have a lower increase for the non-residential taxation compared to the residential one to make sure that businesses don't face taxes that are too high compared to the residential taxation. Because when we take a look at the data across Canada, so if we compare Montreal, Toronto, Vancouver, we see that in Montreal, businesses are having tax rates way over the case that we see in other large metropolitan area across North America. So to make sure that we stay competitive, we need to reduce those taxation rates for businesses, and that's something that we've been telling the administration for years, and that will be continue to repeating, because that's quite a huge issue for businesses and business owners as well that needs to face that reality.
All right, Julien, that's all the time I have. Appreciate your time this morning as always.
Well, thanks to you. Have a nice day.
You too. Julien Henault-Ratelle, Opposition City Councillor for Ensemble Montréal, Opposition spokesperson for housing. He represents the Tétreaultville district in Mercier-Hochelaga, Maisonneuve.